Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Another little front porch conversation today about a serious topic. Today I want to talk about Colleen Ballinger and I want to talk about James Charles. If you have watched my previous videos covering Colleen Ballinger, I said that I was going to continue to make a video about her at least once a month until Colleen Ballinger came out and spoke about the situation and took accountability for it. That's my plan, to continue to do that, because I believe, because I've witnessed this by other people in similar situations, that Colleen Ballinger is hoping that people will forget about this and that people will stop talking about it and that it will just kind of go away, and that Colleen Ballinger will come back to YouTube and she will start making videos again and never really address it. And then a year or two down the road, there will be jokes that are made by Colleen Ballinger, supported by her friends, about the situation. And then what were very serious allegations will be turned into a joke. We've seen this happen with James Charles. We've seen this happen with Shane Dawson. We've seen this happen with numerous people, right? And that is my concern, is that Colleen Ballinger is banking on the fact that over time people will forget about it. It's this idea of kind of abandoning the issue, not addressing the issue, and then when you finally do come back, you just kind of act like it never happened, right? And then she'll just start, you know, producing videos where she's showing her kids and things like that again, or, you know, funny haha little videos and things like that. And then the audience that she's lost, she'll just be like, well, I'll take the L on that. Obviously I lost those people. And then the people that remain that will kiss Colleen Ballinger's ass at no expense and will just ignore all of the facts and the evidence that's right in front of their face, she'll say, okay, well, this is who I will keep. And then over time, you know, people will forget what happened, and then they'll catch a new one of her videos and they'll say, oh, well, like, oh, I forgot about Colleen, and like, she's back. And so they'll start watching her again, and over time she'll have a new career. And like James Charles, who was literally canceled 3 to 4 years ago and had no platform, rightfully so, for the allegations against James Charles. And then just earlier this year, this summer in August, he had a new brand launch and a new launch of new products. So and he is thriving and posting videos to the point where he's getting 23 million video views a month, and he is sitting at, I think, something like 23 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, not to mention the views he gets on Instagram, the views that he gets on TikTok, the sponsorships that he gets, and that is all because people have forgotten what James Charles has done, and that he has a lot of people around him that are supporting him. I think that it's important to note that for years, since I have started this channel, I started this channel 7 years ago, September 1st of 2016, I believe, was my very first video that I did as a drama commentary channel video over here. So in 7 years of doing this, I've made it very, very clear that I do not love talking about deep, dark subject matter. What I enjoy doing over here is flipping a fan and putting on lip gloss and talking on the drama phone and talking about what I think is lighthearted drama, being a little shady, things like that, as more of an entertainment factor, bringing information to you, the consumer, so that you can decide whose products you're going to buy, things like that. These are not the topics that I love to talk about. That opinion has not changed. I don't love talking about these deep, dark subjects, right? That being said, my stance on whether or not I should talk about them has changed. I think it's important to talk about them. I think that people want to forget. You know, I think this is the thing, is it's like we come to YouTube, we come to TikTok, we come to Instagram because we want to just enjoy, you know, our free time and escape and things like that. You know, there's all this discussion about you know, Laura and Manny just did this whole thing on the downfall of the beauty community. A lot of people talk about the downfall of the beauty community. I mean, really the downfall of the beauty community, in all honesty, was that it became so toxic and so chaotic and so drama-filled that for a while that was like building up and building up and building up. But I don't think that anybody couldn't foresee that at some point it was going to be saturation and people were going to get really tired of it, right? Also, when the drama of the beauty community started, and you know, when that started, it was just the beauty community. You know, it wasn't people that were getting involved in all the beauty community mess, like Shane Dawson, like Trisha Paytas, you know, all these people that have involved themselves in this, right? They would do a video here and there. Colleen Ballinger's done some videos with these people, like James Charles and other people. But it wasn't like this crossover, like, you know, it was mainly in the beauty influencer community. And at that time, what we were seeing was the drama where it started was, you know, not that it was ever nice or ever appropriate, but, you know, like Patrick Star rolling his eyes at a meet and greet, or, you know, Jeffree Star and Manny MUA releasing a palette within a day apart, and like who sold out first and things like that, right? It was lighter drama than these deep, dark situations that we're talking about now. And I think what happened over time, because none of these people really want to take responsibility and say, I was to blame for the downfall of the beauty community, right? Like Manny and Laura, to get in a podcast and talk about the downfall of the beauty community when they were a huge part of the downfall of the beauty community, it's absolutely just, you know, hypocritical and ridiculous to me. And I'm not somebody that has any problem owning my own hypocrisy on my channel. I've done it many, many times, you know, so for me, for them to get in these chairs on this ridiculous, foolish podcast, let me fix this for a second, hold on, and just kind of sit there and be like, yeah, like the downfall of the beauty community. I'm like, you guys were a huge part of the downfall of the beauty community, right? Because the reality is that they all started going over to TikTok and Instagram, and that's why, you know, they've complained, Manny and Laura have both complained about, they just miss the days of pictures. Well, if you miss the days of pictures on Instagram, just post pictures, you know? Oh, but your Instagram is where you make money. You make money off of Reels. You get sponsorships, okay, that you don't disclose. You act like they're just PR that's sent to you, and that's your way of doing it. You know, Reels get more traction because they hit the algorithm faster, so it's all business to you. It's all money, right? And Laura and Manny aren't the only ones that are doing it. They all do it, right? But they want to complain about how they miss the days of Instagram just being pictures, but then they never post pictures. I post pictures, I don't post Reels. That's because I'm not all about the money, you know? I think the money that goes along with being on YouTube or TikTok or whatever is nice, right? Like, I feel blessed every single day that I get to get up and this is my job. Like, sometimes it's like, you know, pinch me, is this real, you know? I think they've lost sight of that a little bit. I think there's an entitlement and a privilege that goes along with many of them because they've been making millions of dollars for years and years and years. And I had a lot of hope for some of these people, you know. When Laura and Manny went through their cancellation years ago, and Manny came out and said that, you know, my social blade might be in the red, meaning that he was losing a lot of subscribers and not getting as many views, but my personal life is in the green, and I've realized what's important and where my priorities are. I saw that he and Laura's friendship became very close, and, you know, I just was really hopeful for them. You know, I thought, well, maybe they will turn back around, and I thought they were doing a lot of right things, and they would become the voice of reason. I was just looking through Manny's TikToks the other day, and and maybe I'm wrong, could somebody help me find this, but the original TikTok of him doing the review of James Charles Painted, I can't find that on his TikTok, but I can find the one where he backed down and did the patchy. He addressed how it was patchy. So I'm confused why he left that one up and took the other one down. I can't find it. So if it's up there, then I'm completely wrong and I will own that all day long. But I like went through all these TikToks and I couldn't find it, right? But a lot of Manny's TikToks are very cringe, a lot of inappropriate humor. He actually uses Laura in his jokes of being like with inappropriate humor and things like that. And, you know, I mean, at this point, it's not like you guys are 21-year-old kids anymore. I mean, you're old enough to know better. You're old enough that you're role models to your audience and things like that. And it just is, it's uncomfortable to watch, you know. And I've said my piece about Manny and Laura the other day, but I really, you know, I think people think that I have this huge hate for these people. I really don't. I just literally watch it on the outside. I mean, last night I was watching Survivor, and I was watching The Amazing Race for my reality TV channel that I just started, and I'm so grateful that people are watching it. Thank you so much. I'm loving that channel. And I was watching, what else did I watch? Oh, The Real Housewives of Miami. I'm going back and starting. I'm on season 2 right now. And then my husband and I watched the season finale of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I get just as heated watching that and talking about that kind of stuff as I do about everything else. Trust me, right? So it's not like people say you have a hate boner. Well, do I have a hate boner for Tamra Judge? I've never met her, okay? I will never meet her. So, no, I just get very passionate talking about this stuff because I have opinions about it, right? And that's all they are. They're just opinions, okay? They're, you know, sometimes based on facts or sometimes just on feelings, and I just want to offer a place to have a conversation over here. But when we want to talk about why people left the beauty industry, the beauty community on YouTube and stopped watching it, it was because it was so toxic and so saturated in hate and people attacking each other and people coming for each other with no facts because they wouldn't come out and actually say what had really happened behind the scenes, you know? And it's not my place to talk about it because I have only heard these things through hearsay. I don't know what's fact and what's not, right? And so then people were like, why am I watching this? I literally came over for the, you know, the tutorials, the get readies with me, the fun engagement, right? But then when you sit back and you look and you see that all these people, all they really care about is money or who they support, like, that's a problem for me, you know? And you know, take it outside of the YouTube world where people are like, you're really just upset over somebody following. Yeah, I'm upset that Jaclyn Hill follows James Charles and Colleen Ballinger. She has no problem following and supporting two predators. And I think that these, like, it's interesting to me when people are like, we need to just let this go. Like, we need to, like leave all the Raw Beauty Christie alone, leave Jaclyn Hill alone, and all this kind of stuff. Have they come out and addressed this? Is that a lot to ask? You know, when you have major corporations that get involved in some kind of scandal with, like, you know, political action, you know, political campaigns where they're raising money within an organization, or they're putting money into charities, or they're putting money into certain groups and things like that, and people come out and say, I'm not endorsing this business anymore, or I'm not endorsing the CEO that works for this business anymore because of the businesses or the organizations that they support outside their business. I don't think it's a lot to ask when we're talking about who we're putting money into and buying their products online based on we like these people. I don't think it's a lot to ask that they unfollow somebody that's problematic. I mean, and I proved this the other day because Manny followed me with quickness when he realized that he didn't like what I had to say anymore because I said I couldn't support him. But he has no problem supporting James Charles, and he has no problem, you know, supporting Colleen Ballinger until it's not popular for him anymore. And Jaclyn Hill still follows, you know, James Charles and Colleen Ballinger. And I do think that they need to be held accountable for this, right? First of all, let me just tell you, I just got back from getting a crown replaced on my tooth. I thought it was going to hurt really bad, but it didn't hurt at all. But I usually have a little Pepsi with you guys, but today I'm going to make some coffee. I have one can left of this Dreamy Coffee, not sponsored, that made an appearance, a little cameo role, a little ad placement on the Real Housewives of New York when they were in the Hamptons. I have to tell you, this is probably, I did a review on my review channel. I was so excited because Aaron refers to it as Jenna's bougie coffee, and so I was like, ooh, I want some bougie coffee. It's hands down probably the worst coffee I've ever had in my entire life. Okay, and then I reviewed also on my review channel these nut pods, this oat creamer, that cinnamon swirl. It's my favorite. It's so, so, so good. And I'm not a big creamer person. Oh, it smells delicious. It smells like a cinnamon roll. Okay, and then I also have 4 pumps of a toasted marshmallow Torani syrup in here, so I'm just going to put a little bit of cream. I decided to do a little coffee tutorial with you guys while I'm sitting out here. So I kind of want to get rid of this coffee, to be honest with you, because it's not my favorite. And then, yeah. So, although I will say the K-Pods that I got from them were pretty good. Okay. I mean, they were just average. They were like Folgers or something like that. All right. So, you know, I think it's interesting when you sit back and you look at all this stuff and yeah, that coffee is just like really bitter. It's not great. Not to mention that my box came completely dented and bent and cans were leaking and things like that. So I would not invest in Dreamy Coffee. But anyway, but they got their placement on the Real Housewives of New York, so that's all that matters. Okay, so, you know, I think it's interesting when you talk about these people and their cancellation. And I'm somebody, like, I keep on referring to the word cancellation in this video, but, like, I'm not somebody that necessarily believes in cancel culture. I mean, I think it's such, like, this hot topic that people want to, you know, hide behind. It's like, anytime somebody goes through a scandal or they're called out or they're held accountable for something, they're like, oh, cancel culture is horrible, blah, 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 right? It's kind of like their go-to defense. Instead of coming out and saying, yeah, like, I did a really shit thing and I need to take responsibility for it and I can't believe that I did that and I need to maybe get in therapy and talk to somebody about this because I don't know why I thought that that was right, you know? like I've done in my life, like many of my friends and family have done in their life. I don't know why that's such a huge ask of people that are doing horrific things, right? When, you know, I don't know. Like, to me, it's amazing that we think that that's a huge ask, right? That somebody just get on video and take accountability for their actions or whatever, you know? But this is part of the problem, is that we have these predator protectors, okay, we have these predators, and then we have the predator protectors that are the friends, and then we have the super fans that are protecting all these people. And so if you're somebody that's coming out with an excuse and you're saying all this kind of stuff, you're part of the problem as well, okay? You're part of the reason why Colleen Ballinger will continue to, and I'm sorry, I'm just calling it how it is. This is a very unpopular fucking opinion. I understand that, right? But it's my opinion. Feel free to share your opinion in the comment section below, all right? But for people that are giving all these excuses and things and saying James didn't do anything wrong and making excuses for this, whatever. James came out in a video and said what he did was wrong. He took full accountability for it, okay? And then took the video down, basically saying he didn't take accountability for it, okay? But the video is still up. It's been re-uploaded by somebody else. So you can go watch it yourself. Colleen Ballinger, she's addressed through her attorney all these different things, okay? Blackface versus green face and this versus that. But she hasn't addressed any of these allegations by the victims. Why? Because there's factual evidence that it happened. So when you're coming out and you're saying, stop being hard on this person, why are you asking that Manny MUA unfollow James Charles? Like, enough is enough. Like, you know, like, no, this person doesn't have to come out and speak about it. What you're doing is you're giving these people an out, and then they'll continue to support these people, and then the predators will continue to have a platform, okay? And then 2-3 years down the road, if something else happens or somebody else is hurt, all right, then what are you going to say when all these people are the ones that are building these people up? This is what we saw, like, and I keep on using this analogy, and I'm not sure, like, why people don't see this, right? This is why Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell got away with what they did for so long, okay? Because of who they had behind them, the power structure that they had behind them, the money. When we want to talk about the power differential, which James Charles 100%, okay, alluded to in his Holding Myself Accountable video, when we want to talk about that power structure, we're not just talking about the power structure between the perpetrator and the victim, okay? We're also talking about the power structure of all of the people that are behind them, right? The people that are building them up. When you guys look at systematic abuse, okay, when you're talking about somebody that's systematically abused, and typically we talk about that from the point of view of somebody that, you know, is lower economic status and lower academic status and things like that, right? And how the system abuses these people, right? By that they can't get employment and they can't, you know, have financial backing or their medical needs met, and they can't get these things and they can't get these things, right? Like, it's systematic abuse is what it is. Well, systematic abuse works the other way as well. When you have all of these people, okay, that are supporting the predators, and then you have all these people that are supporting the people that are supporting the predators, it's systematic abuse. No matter how you want to look at it, okay, if you went into a sociology class and you had them talk about systems and systems theory and systematic abuse, like, these are the things that you guys would hear about, right? It's easy to translate into the situation with James Charles and Colleen Ballinger and the people that have supported them for a long period of time. It's why I think it is so important to continue to talk about it, okay? So, I'm going to continue to talk about it. I'm going to continue to talk about it, not in every video, but I'm going to make a video a month until Colleen Ballinger comes out and talks about it. And when she comes out, okay, with some lame video and says, well, I've been vlogging for the last couple of months while I've been gone, like I really needed to take a break off the internet. Like, girl, like, we didn't know where you've been. Okay, well, we don't know where you are. It's like in that scene from Coal Miner's Daughter, right? Actually, I have to say this. It's not funny, but I just have to say this because this comment totally caught me by guard, and I actually kind of live for this comment. Somebody commented to me yesterday on my video where I was talking about James Charles and the miners, and this is Sarah, so I want to give a good shout out to Sarah because this stuff gets so dark for me that, like, a comment like this, like, when I'm reading through the comments, and I do read through all the comments, a comment like this, like, just, I don't know, it's like, I grew up in a family where if we had to laugh sometimes because if we couldn't, then we were just going to be, we would be crying chaotic messes, you know? And she said, I like to imagine you're saying miners, M-I-N-E-R-S, like coal miners, not minors, M-I-N-O-R-S, and I imagine handsome dudes with pickaxes, and it makes the videos less gross. Which I appreciate that, right? I was born to be a coal miner's daughter. Anyway, I love the movie Coal Miner's Daughter with Sissy Spacek and Sweet Dreams with Jessica Lange. They're two of my favorite movies of life. And in the movie Coal Miner's Daughter, when Loretta Lynn and Patsy Cline are singing at a county fair, and Loretta Lynn goes to her husband's car, and she pulls the woman out that he's making out with, and the woman says, "You don't know who I am," and Loretta Lynn says, "I may not know who you are, but I know what you are, and if you want to keep that arm, you better get it off my husband," right? I mean, that's kind of how it is with Colleen Ballinger. Like, we don't know where she is, but we know who she is, right? Okay. And who she is not a great person. So when she wants to come out with this video and be like, "Hey, you guys, like, I've taken some time off." Like, I think you guys know there's been a lot of stuff going on, but for you guys that love me and support me, I really appreciate it. It's really got me through the last couple months. That's pandering to the people that love her, right? And not addressing the elephant in the room, which isn't even an elephant in the room. I mean, right now, it's like, she's living in the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? But she won't come out and address it unless she... If Colleen Ballinger comes out and addresses this at this point, I mean, it is so little, so late at this point. I don't know why. I mean, there's speculation that she's going to wait until Adam McIntyre turns 21 because it's the legality surrounding that is less for her than if she waits till then. So that might be the case. It's the end of this month, so we'll see. It's coming up this week, right? So happy birthday, Adam. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I just want to get into this whole topic of how this video came about, since I'm at 20 minutes and 40 seconds, right? And no, that was not all an intro. That was important for me to talk about. So anyway, last night I was sitting out here and I was watching this coffee is not good with that. That coffee is not good with that dreamy coffee. Don't buy that dreamy coffee. It's nasty. You won't like it. Doesn't matter how much stuff you put in it. So last night I was sitting out here and I was watching Survivor and Amazing Race. Are y'all watching it? I'm going to cover it over my reality channel, so if you want to watch it. I have to say, I haven't watched Survivor in like 10 years or so. I used to watch every season, and I've only watched like the first 4 or 5 seasons of The Amazing Race. My ex and I, this is before streaming services, my ex and I used to go to Best Buy every weekend, like on a Friday or Saturday, and we would buy like box sets of TV shows, and we would watch like a whole season on a weekend. This is before streaming services. Yeah, I am that old. And so we did like America's Next Top Model, we did Project Runway, we tried to pick like reality challenge shows. We did Amazing Race. We also, that's how we started watching Lost, which ended up being one of my favorite shows of life. And we got caught up in Lost, and we watched it throughout our whole relationship. But anyway, I was sitting out here. Survivor was okay last night. The one girl that I liked on the show ended up taking herself off the show, so I was kind of upset about that. But anyway, I watched The Amazing Race. I'm loving The Amazing Race. I had forgotten how much I love The Amazing Race, so I'm sitting there watching that, right? And Rich Lux texted me, and he starts texting me these pictures, right? Because he knows that I love the RuPaul's Drag Race girls. He sent me, through the years when Rich has ever like met up with the RuPaul's Drag Race girls, he always like sends me a picture. So he sends me this picture, and I'm thinking he's with Monique Hart from RuPaul's Drag Race, right? And I'm like, oh, and he's like, she says hi, and I was like, oh, hey girl, or something like that. And I go, where are you? And he was like, backstage at Todrick Hall's show. And I said, is that Todrick Hall? I could just read you the text, but I'm not going to. And I asked Rich if I could talk about this in the video, and he said yes. He said his whole intention of going to the show was just to get backstage and talk to Todrick Hall and interview him for this video that he put up today talking about Colleen Ballinger and some other stuff. Now, he knows that I think that Todrick Hall is extremely problematic, okay? I don't support Todrick Hall at all. I think he's problematic. I think he is... Did y'all see the video of him and Colleen Ballinger and the homeless person? Okay, and he has his own problematic history with paying people and all the other allegations against him that I'm not going to get into in this video. Okay, that could be a whole hour video of its own. So I'm not a Todrick Hall fan whatsoever, okay? And it's kind of sad because I did like Todrick Hall and I thought he was really creative and innovative and before all this stuff came out. And then when I started looking at all of it, it's like if you got one allegation that, okay, if you got 2 allegations, it starts making you question. When you got like 5 or 6 allegations against you, and you're friends with Colleen Ballinger, and you're friends with this person that's problematic, and you're friends with that person that's problematic, it's like, you're probably pretty problematic, right? Like, I know you guys want to defend these people at length, but when you've watched it as long as I am, or I have, and you see that this person and that person and this person have like 16 allegations against them, and they also hang out with like the most problematic people, the reality is they're probably pretty problematic. I don't even know if I can drink this coffee, and I'm so thirsty right now, but we're just going to keep it going on. Going to keep on going on like the rent, like June Carter Cash said. I'm kind of like in a country music phase today. Crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. My neighbor's looking at me right now. What's going on? Have a little concert over here.
I heard you talk about Colleen Ballinger.
Oh, she said, I heard you talking about Colleen Ballinger. I am. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
I know, no Colleen Ballinger allowed on this street. She'd get kicked off of this HOA. Anyway, true story, she would though. They would not be having her. So Rich is texting me his pictures, and he texted me a picture of like a silky nutmeg ganache because he knows I love her, okay? And I even said to him last night, I said her finest moment was when she was eating Kentucky Fried Chicken or Popeye's, some fried chicken, okay, in a bucket at Miss Continental. That was like her presentation that she did. And then he sent me a picture of Mistress Isabel Brooks that's from Houston and things like that. And I was like, girl, why are, I go, I'm not going to read all the text, but I said something, I go, Todrick Hall. I go, no, girl, canceled. I go, why are you there? And he was like, to get this interview. I'm going to do this interview with him. And I go, girl, she's canceled. I go, I was like, I wouldn't post that picture if I were you. Well, he had already posted the picture. I mean, I tried, you know. I was like, girl, I wouldn't post that picture. And he's like, no, I was like, I got an interview. I go, did you ask him why he still follows Colleen Ballinger? And so the interview is up on Rich's video. You guys, I haven't watched the video yet. I just read the comments or was reading some of the comments because I was in the Uber on the way back from my dental appointment. So I wasn't going to be rude to the driver and watch the video. And so I'm going to watch it here in just a second. But I was reading through some of the comments, and then Rich messaged me about one of the comments, and he said something. And I was like, okay, this is an interesting take. I think this is an interesting conversation to have. So I wanted to kind of preface all of that by like, that's how I became aware of Rich doing this video and all this kind of stuff. Needless to say, I don't know yet what Todrick Hall says in this video or this interview. I know that Rich kind of insinuated that he acted like he didn't really know what was going on with Colleen Ballinger. That's why nobody will do interviews with me. Okay, true story. They know that I'm a man-eater. I will eat them the fuck up if they sit on my couch, okay? Trust me. I'd be like, he'd be like, well, yeah, like, I don't really know what's going on with Colleen Ballinger and blah, blah. I'd be like, well, do you know that she's a predator and people are calling you out for doing a video with making fun of a homeless person years ago? You must know that because you're getting a lot of backlash about it. Well, yeah, like, I've kind of heard about that, but, like, I've been really busy, like, planning my next show, which is, like, Mommy Dearest, but it's a musical. And I'd be like, okay, so you don't know that Colleen Ballinger, the biggest story in pop culture right now, is being accused by several victims that she was having inappropriate sexual conversations with minors. Yeah, like I kind of heard, okay, but you still follow her. Oh, wait, let's look it up on Instagram right now. Okay, here it is on Instagram. This is what I did last night, because I said to Rich, I said, did you ask him why? He's like, I'm already gone from the place. I go, well, did you ask him why he still follows him? Oh, here it is, Todrick Hall, fourth person down. See, here it is, right here, Todrick Hall. Let's see. Colleen Ballinger. Colleen. Oh, look, he still follows her. Right there, that's number one. Now, I don't think he knows James Charles. Should we see if he follows James Charles, too? Hold on a second. That would be... No, he doesn't follow James Charles. He don't know James Charles. But he does know Colleen Ballinger. Okay, so you need to maybe fix that up, Todrick. I don't think you need any more problematic bullshit coming your way. So anyway... So, Rich sent me this, or I was looking through the text, the comments, and we were talking about the comments on his video, and he sent me this comment, and the comment said, and I have the whole comment pulled up from the video, and the comment said, and I'm going to edit a part out of this because YouTube doesn't like this word, but it said, you and the rest of the people who dragged her down should take responsibility if she hurts herself, seriously hurts herself. And so I went over here because I wanted to read these comments, okay? So here they are, because Rich said something afterwards that I thought was kind of an interesting take. So she said, you and the rest of the people who dragged her down should take responsibility if she hurts herself permanently. And then somebody said, no, they should not. She did this to herself. If she ever would do this, it's her choice, nobody else's. That you want to push that on them, it's beyond gross. Shame on you. Somebody said narcs would never do that. More likely to encourage others to do that to others. I don't know what that comment means. Somebody said, and where's her responsibility and accountability for her predatory creep behavior on minors, defending her as wild? Someone said, LOL, girl, what are you saying? She did that to herself by behaving like that with minors. And then this person responds back and says, yeah, but the T channels keep on about it. Like, they are making money. Every view is not right, in my opinion. Okay, here's the thing, right? I don't monetize videos where I make apologies, but if I'm a drama commentary channel, okay? I'm going to monetize videos that I'm doing commentary on. I'm going to. So if you have a problem with that, I'm not the channel for you. If you come to a video of mine and I'm making an apology about something, no, I'm not going to monetize that video. I didn't monetize my Daniel Prada apology the other day, okay? And a lot of people were like, you didn't even owe him an apology. Well, I felt like I needed to correct myself on camera, so I turned around within 5 minutes. I didn't wait 4 months, okay? Like Colleen Ballinger and Daniel Prada, Manny MUA, and all these other people. I turned around in 5 minutes and corrected myself and made a video. Literally sat down here, filmed a video that was longer than his Colleen Ballinger part. Hold on a second, it's going to stop. So, and you know, and people are like, oh, you're patting your own back. No, I'm not patting my own back. I'm proving a point. I'm proving a point of how easy it is to get in a video and address your audience, okay? When you feel that your audience is important enough that they deserve to know the truth and they deserve to hear you take accountability for something. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of growing as a human being and admitting my wrongs. I have no problem with that. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I have no problem admitting that I'm a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites in some way or another, you know? We've all been hypocritical at some point in our life, you know? So I don't have a problem getting on video and owning my mistakes and the errors and taking accountability for it. When people come over to my channel and they say, practice what you preach, I do practice what I preach. And part of why I say that on video, and it's the same people that say, practice what you preach, that say, oh, you want pats on the back. Okay, well, I'm practicing what I'm preaching, and now I'm proving to you that I'm practicing what I'm preaching, so that you realize that the same things I'm asking of these people is no less than what I would ask of myself. Is no less than I would ask of my friends. Is no less than I would ask of my family or my husband or anybody else in my life, right? So when we want to talk about money that's being made on YouTube, these people, you're upset that I'm holding Colleen Ballinger and James Charles accountable for it and I'm monetizing that video. But these people have videos up collaborating with these people, endorsing Predator's products, making money. I mean, Manny MUA, Jaclyn Hill just threw up her video and has a link to it, an affiliate link to James. She's making money literally off of James Charles. She's making money off of a Predator. You know, they're going to his launch parties. They made a lot of money and gotten a lot of subscribers. When Manny MUA did the video with Miranda Sings, I'm sure he got a lot of subscribers off that video and said very inappropriate things. Y'all don't have problems with these people bankrolling off the backs of predators and really off the backs of their victims. But you have a problem with me getting in a video and talking about it and bringing awareness to the topic and monetizing it. No, baby, this is my job, okay? This is my job. Maybe it's their job to be a predator. I don't know. Maybe they need to find a new job, you know? And if not, maybe somebody will find one for them. But this kind of defense is disgusting to me. And then, so this person responded to them and said, no, agreeing and telling them it's on them if they hurt themselves is not the same. I can understand you not agreeing that they keep going on, but that you are trying to blame them if she would do this to herself goes way beyond that. And this person says, yes, I am. They all do is bring it up to get views. I understand that she needs to address everything in a clear and honest fashion again. No, you just explained the reason why I keep on bringing it up. It's because she needs to address it. Has she addressed it? I can't imagine that I'm the only drama commentary channel out there that is not aware that Colleen Ballinger has come out and addressed this appropriately. Has Colleen Ballinger come out and addressed this appropriately and I'm not aware of that? Did she? Oh my God. What? Can you send me that video, please? Like, for all of you out there that want to say that Trisha Paytas has addressed all of her issues and taken accountability for all her lies, can you send me those videos, please? I mean, I said that months ago. I said I will get in a video and take full accountability and apologize to Trisha Paytas if that video, a dedicated video of Trisha Paytas owning up to her lies and taking accountability for all the people in the communities that she's hurt, if that video exists, because you guys all say it exists, oh, she's done it. Well, where is it? Oh, well, it's in multiple videos over multiple years. No. That ain't what I'm talking about, okay? You talk about somebody else that's bankrolled off the backs of people that she's hurt, okay? Then she can get in a dedicated video that's not monetized and she can address each and every one of those communities and the people that she's hurt and the lies that she's made. And I don't care if that video is 3 hours long, okay? Y'all force us to do it. Y'all want us drama channels to come out and do it. But when it's your favorite, you don't want them to come out and talk about it. Okay. So, somebody else said, she did it to herself. I was reading comments and my tripod fell. Okay, and then it says, she did it to herself. She is a grown-ass woman and she probably views you like doggy mess on her shoe. And then this other person responds to her and says, okay, so if I get R'd or A'd or G'd and I post and talk about my situation, it's for views. I hope no one ever tells you that you talking about your trauma is for views. Your parents didn't raise you right then because you have some compassion. And she's talking about the victim stories, right? And that's bringing attention to the victim stories. And the reason why I keep talking about it, okay, and listen, like I said, I'm going to monetize my videos because that's what I do, okay? I'm a YouTuber that makes videos and I monetize all my channels, you know? Even if I'm over on my Peterson's channel, I'm talking about grief, and I'm talking about my mom's passing, or I'm talking about my recovery, or I'm talking about friends of mine that have passed, you know, from overdoses. Those videos are monetized. They don't really make any money, but they're monetized, and so if you have an issue with that, then this isn't probably the channel for you, okay? I'm just going to say that. But Swoop's monetizing her documentary series, and she rightfully so, and has sponsors on those videos, and rightfully so. She's done a shit ton of work on those videos, and she deserves it. And she also deserves it because she's bringing informed, educated information to the people that are not aware or are aware of the story, and she is supporting the victims, okay? When Colleen Ballinger wants this to all go away. So, Rich Lex brought up a point to me when we were, like, texting about this situation. He said, do you know what this feels like? It feels like whenever everybody was coming after James Charles, this was years ago, right? When he was in Australia and also was coming out. And then people were saying, stop, he's going to jump off the building. And then people were like, okay, we need to calm down with the cancellation. And then he got away with it. And it's kind of like, it feels that way. And in all honesty, I have to say that Rich is correct in this. And he's not the first nor the last person that I think I will have this conversation with, you know, that, and I will say that I was worried about James during that situation, you know. I didn't really cover the James situation back then, in all honesty. One of the reasons why I didn't was because of the seriousness of the situation, and I don't like to talk about dark topics like that, but, you know, I was like, I don't know where this is going to end up, right? Well, where it ended up was James Charles having 23 million subscribers on YouTube, a thriving TikTok career, a thriving Instagram career, and launching a brand and having multiple people support him. You know, if you hear it from him, major celebrities supporting him, wearing his brand on tour and things like that. So, really nothing happened to him. We didn't have anything really to be worried about at that point. In fact, he's sprinkled, you know, fairy dust here and there talking about that he's seen professionals. I don't know if those are professional soccer coaches or professional vocal coaches or therapists or dentists. I don't know what professionals he always says professionals. I don't know what he's talking about behind the scenes, right? But you would think that that would be a pretty important time in his life to go see professionals and say, like, my mental health is so suffering over this. I don't know if he did that or not. I hope that he did, right? I don't ever, in any of these people that I talk about, wish them any harm to themselves or other people. It's why I think it's important to talk about. Colleen Ballinger, I don't know what's going on with her. I have said in multiple videos that I hope that she is surrounded by people that love and care about her, and I hope she's taking care of herself and seeing multiple therapists. She needs it. Colleen Ballinger, by coming out and doing what she did, okay, and then it being found out, her line in the 2020 video, right, like, was anybody, and here's my other question, right, and people want to say that she continues to talk, people keep on talking about this. Adam McIntyre came out with this video in 2020. She made an apology video and was working behind the scenes to discredit Adam McIntyre, and this has been proven, okay, and to have the group chats talk about him and come up with information about him and all this kind of stuff, okay? Adam McIntyre, I believe at the time, was 17 years old. Who was worried about Adam McIntyre's mental health? Who was worried about whether or not Adam McIntyre was going to hurt himself permanently? I don't remember a lot of that. And in fact, since this whole thing with Colleen Ballinger has come up, I've seen a lot of people come out and say that they're really worried about Colleen Ballinger's mental health. I am too. I'm worried about what she could possibly do to harm herself. I hope she doesn't. I hope she's taking care of herself. And I hope she's surrounded by people that love and care about her. Because I think that every human being deserves that, to take care of themselves. But I'm also worried about her mental health because nobody in their right mind would behave the way that she has behaved. But I see a lot of people that are talking about Colleen Ballinger, and we need to stop talking about Colleen Ballinger because if Colleen Ballinger does this or if Colleen Ballinger does that, where are the people worried about the victims? Where are the people that are worried about Becky and Oliver and Adam and all the other victims that have come out and shared their stories? And I know that I leave a lot of them out sometimes. I just want to say to all of them out there, you all are the bravest group of people I have ever witnessed in my entire life, hands down, okay? And I met some brave-ass people in my life, okay? Trust me, I have met some brave-ass people. You guys are, for your age and for what you've gone through and for sharing your traumatic experience, you are some of the bravest people because you have been so just dragged through the mud online. You've gotten a lot of support and a lot of love as well. But as somebody that has done this for 7 years and not even talking about the story that you're talking about, okay, just sharing my opinion, you can get 100 nice comments, but it's that one person in the room that's coming for you and saying that you should take your life. That one hurts the most, okay? And anybody that's been on social media or is getting any kind of like following or whatever knows that to be true. You fixate on those 1 or 2 comments, right? And those victims have gotten a lot of horrific comments. But I don't see a lot of people talking about all of them and worried about at their young, fragile age when we want to defend James Charles and say, well, he's still emotionally developing because he's not 25 yet. That's the excuse that people give James Charles. Well, James Charles isn't emotionally developed yet. We are talking about 18, 19, 20-year-olds, okay? That definitely are not emotionally developed yet and were abused while they were not emotionally developed. And I don't see a lot of people asking about their mental health and their well-being and what would happen if if Adam hurt himself permanently. What would happen if Becky hurt herself permanently? What would happen about this? What happened about that? And many of them are sharing their mental health journeys online and how hard this is. Do you have any idea what it's like to relive trauma over and over and over again? Have you ever done that as you're passing judgment on these people or their families or their friends? But our main concern is Colleen Ballinger. I don't want anybody in a situation to hurt themselves, but Colleen Ballinger can end this at any time, okay? Colleen Ballinger can end this at any time. No one is pressing legal charges at this point. No one. There are no open cases against Colleen Ballinger. You know, this is what's crazy to me is, I say all this stuff about how the fact that James Charles hasn't been charged, okay? And then people will say, well, the reason James Charles was never charged is because the police, they won't investigate it unless somebody comes forth and presses charges, okay? Which I've had other police officers say that's absolutely not true, that if they did know that those allegations were going on, then people will, then the police will investigate on their own and decide whether or not it's important enough to send to the district attorney and things like that. I don't know all that behind the scenes. I do know that a lot of people have told me that they have reported James Charles recently. So I mean, I'm sure that will probably come to nothing, right? But hey, at least we're bringing awareness to the situation. But those are the excuses that people use for James Charles, right? Like, nobody came forward and reported it. They've come forward and reported it, but nobody's made a police report. So, if you're going to use that excuse for James Charles, when everybody's so concerned about Colleen Ballinger for going to prison or going to jail for what she did, okay, well, have you ever thought that maybe that's what needs to happen? That if Colleen Ballinger thinks that the right thing to do, and if this is so minimal and she didn't hurt anybody, when there's literally evidence out there, that if whatever she did, that she's so scared of addressing because she won't address it in a video, because if it really wasn't that scary, she would address it in a video, right? Okay, and she'd just clear this up, and we would move on, and she'd be back to doing her podcast with Trisha Paytas, and, you know, whatever. Although Trisha Paytas wouldn't have her, because Trisha Paytas, her nudes were sent all over the world by Colleen Ballinger and Corey DeSoto. In fact, Corey DeSoto was putting Trisha Paytas' nudes on with the faces of minors on them. So he could face charges too, but nobody's pressing charges against Corey DeSoto. Colleen Ballinger's best friend, right? Who Todrick Hall just liked his picture the other day. Todrick Hall, you're a mess. Anyway, I don't really care what you have to say. So anyway, you know, it's interesting to me that people are always worried about Colleen Ballinger. I'm worried about Colleen Ballinger. I mean, as a human being to a human being, I hope she takes care of herself, right? Colleen Ballinger can end this any day that she wants. She can come out and take full responsibility. Oh, no, she can't. Because if she comes out and takes full responsibility, then the legal implications. So you're more worried about the legal implications of Colleen Ballinger than you are ending this and allowing her to work through her pain and allowing the victims to work through their pain. You're more worried about the legal implications of what Colleen Ballinger did. And in all actuality, and let's just be for real, how much money it would cost. And I know that Ethan Klein said that he would raise a fund if they ever wanted to press charges or if she came for them or whatever, okay? But the amount of money and the time it would cost them and would consume their lives for the next 5 to 10 years to pursue Colleen Ballinger, I don't think any of them want to do that. I think a lot of them have made that pretty clear. If Trisha Paytas were going to pursue this legally, she would have done so by now, okay? That hasn't happened. So the reality is, if Colleen Ballinger comes out and addresses this, legally probably nothing is going to happen, okay? She's going to be, you know, looked at for a while as like this horrible person, and then she'll take 6 months off and she'll say, I'm going to take some time off and take care of myself and get into therapy or whatever. She'll say all the right things she's supposed to say. You know, when she finally decides that it's time that she needs to come out with a video, and then she'll take 6 months off because she's got a lot of money, so she doesn't have to worry about that, right? And then she'll come back and she'll start making videos again and act like it never happened. This is where I say that people are not canceled, okay? People are only canceled when you are the one that has the power to cancel them. And you only have the power to cancel them with one vote. And that one vote is you saying, I am no longer going to watch this person. That doesn't mean that 100,000 people aren't going to continue to watch them no matter what they did. There's a lot of people that will look right at you and say, I don't give a rat's ass what this person did, okay? I don't watch them for that. I don't know about that. I'm going to keep on watching their videos. I get those comments on my videos all the time. Okay? So that's who they're going to watch, you know? So it is what it is. But, like, I think this is always an interesting defense. You know, it's like, if you got caught in, like, a really... Like, if this were really, like, in the real world, right? Like, if we were talking about, let's say, you know, a person on your street that was talking to minors sexually inappropriate, okay? I mean, we're talking about young minors. Not that it's right either way, okay? But 14, 15-year-olds and stuff. And you're talking... This person was on the street talking to them, okay? And then charges were pressed, and they were put into a courtroom, okay? And then the courtroom would say, well, like they would say, well, I'm going to hurt myself. The judge would say, I don't know what to tell you. Like, okay, gavel, bang, we're taking away the charges because they're going to hurt themselves. No, they would say, okay, well, we'll put you on a watch while you're in jail, you know, until the trial's over. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm sorry that you're going through a really difficult time right now, and I don't wish that on you. And I don't wish this on James. I don't wish this on Colleen Ballinger. I wish for them to get better. I wish for them to grow and become better people and take accountability for their actions and own up to their wrongs and allow their victims to move on, okay? That's what I hope for. And I don't think that they deserve platforms, because their platforms are what they use to abuse their victims to begin with. If Colleen Ballinger had just been Colleen Ballinger living in, you know, Boise, Idaho, and she was working at the local Starbucks, who is coming into her group chats to talk to her, to fan over her, okay? For her to have inappropriate conversations with and talk about her husband and boyfriend's dick sizes and talk about their favorite sexual positions and when they had their first period and things like that. Nobody. She was able to have those conversations because she was Colleen Ballinger, because she was Miranda Sings. The same things with James Charles. People want to say it's not about the power differential. The fuck it isn't. If James Charles was James Dickinson sitting in upstate New York, okay, at 24 years old, all right, you know, just graduated from college working for a PR agency, and he was dipping into people's DMs, people would not be fanning over him that way. What they would be saying is, this is weird that a 24-year-old is reaching out to me, okay? Like, I don't want any part of that. So, I don't know, you know, like, the whole situation to me is like that people just want to use that as an excuse. And I think that Rich brings up a very valid point, you know? And the point is that often we use these issues, but like, let's look at both sides of it, right? Like, when we were all concerned about James Charles and his mental health, were we looking at the mental health of his victims? I don't remember anybody talking about that. Or is anybody worried about the mental health of these victims? I think I've heard some people mention it that really care about Adam and the other victims, right? But are we as worried about that, or is we worried about Colleen Ballinger? I mean, maybe we need to set our priorities straight. It's okay to be worried about somebody's mental health and hope that they take care of themselves, but at the same time hold them accountable, right? Like, that is completely okay, you know? And I think that that's an important thing to be addressed. So maybe this isn't a popular opinion. I don't know. You know, I think that the mindset is, if those of us that are talking about us want something bad to happen to these people. That has never been my motive, and I have made that very clear in my videos. To say that I think that somebody doesn't deserve a platform because they've abused their platform to hurt other people is completely different than me saying that I want something bad to happen to these people. I don't, at all. I don't wish that on another human being, okay? You know? I've often asked myself the question, I listened to the audiobook I Am God, which is about the DC shooter, right? And at the end of the audiobook, it's done fantastically. And they have the victim sentencing. And they have the families of the victims come forward and speak. And this one woman that, like, I think it was her sister that this woman is like 60 years old, and her sister, they've been so close their whole lives, right? And her sister was killed by the shooter. And she said in there that she doesn't believe in capital punishment. She doesn't want him to die and stuff like that. And I can remember thinking about that and thinking, you know, if somebody came in and killed my husband and killed my dog and killed my friends and killed my family, like, I don't even know, you know, that, I mean, it's very much to me like the whole Matthew Shepard situation when Judy Shepard came forward and spoke. You know, it's like, that's who I want to be as a person that has compassion in my heart. That's the person I want to be that has forgiveness in my heart. I think that's the person I am becoming. So no, I don't wish harm on these people. I wish for them to take accountability and release the pain and the trauma from these victims. And they have the power to do that. So maybe instead of focusing so much on how horrible it is that what Colleen Ballinger is going through right now, as Manny MUA said, maybe we should be focusing on how horrible it is that the victims have to relive this. And I'm super proud of those victims for coming out and talking, because I think, you know, that it has to be super difficult what they're doing. I just can't even imagine. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.